Welcome to Genesis Sports Channel, and we're going through League One for 16th of November. There are 5 games, so we should be able to get through these quickly. We have the 12:30 game, Exeter versus Lincoln City, and let's just see where they are in the table. We've got Exeter in 11th, and Lincoln in fifth position. Now, Exeter have only drawn one of their games, and this is quite impressive because they were doing so well at the beginning, and the last 3 games, 3 wins on the trot. Although one was in the Bristol Street Motors against Bristol Rovers. So, do we count that one? 2 defeats before that, Huddersfield and Reading, and a Shrewsbury win before that. So they've been in quite well. And they're playing a Lincoln team that have actually picked up. They did really well at the beginning. They had a little bit of a blip in the middle, and then they've won Stockport County, they've won Northampton, they've won Chesham in the FA Cup, drawn against Bristol Rovers, and then won against Manchester City 5-0 in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. So, we have to take away the ones that that we can't count. The FA Cup and the Bristol Street Motors. So that's a draw, a win, and before that, the critical one was a defeat away at Crawley Town. And we have to think there's certain aspects to these two teams that are important at the minute. Exeter are doing really well. They have started to pick back up again. They did well. They had a blip. They come back. The same with Lincoln City. And I sort of think they're in almost exactly the same position, these two. They both had a bit of a struggle for a couple of games, and now they're coming back and showing that we can score. We can both let goals in. So it's going to be quite a difficult one, this one, because we've got 2 teams that are so much alike, and I'm not really sure which way to go. I'm gonna have to think about this as far as what are they both wanting out of this game. They're both wanting a win. They're both wanting to show the fans that they can continue, but probably about the same as each other. I think it could be a 1-1. I'm going to put in my brackets 1-1, but I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go with Exeter 2, Lincoln City 1, purely because Exeter at home, 3 wins on the bounce, although one's obviously FA Cup, and 3 wins out of 4 for Lincoln. However, 2 of those are a cup and a trophy game. So it's a little bit difficult, I think, to judge your recent form, because it's mixed up in amongst teams that aren't in our league. So we're going to go with 2-1. It could be a draw. It could very, very easily be a draw, couldn't it? And we'll go on to the next one. That was the next one there. That's the Blackpool versus Northampton. And now Blackpool... Northampton there. And Blackpool versus Northampton. So we have Blackpool... struggling of late. They had that new manager bounce, and then obviously the manager had a severe case of he's got to be away from the football club, and I do commiserate with him. And then you've got Northampton, who have been, I think, sort of mid-table performing for quite a while, and you can tell by Northampton the last 3 games: lose, draw, win. The games before that, lose, win. You really are talking mid-table sort of scores there. Again, we've got the cup games and the trophy games in the middle of it. But Blackpool, a draw against Harrogate 2-2. That's not in the Bristol Street Motors. Orient League 1 3-0 defeat. That's a worry for me. Forget the Liverpool in the trophy. Gillingham 2-0 in the cup. Perhaps forget that one. 2-2 against Wigan. Peterborough defeat 5-1, and I sort of think that I think that the mood in Blackpool has just started to wane a little bit, and but I think when everything's back to a little bit of normality over there, then they'll start to pick up. Not knowing exactly the situation with regards to manager at the minute, I have to start thinking that it's going to continue until for a little while until everything starts to sort of get back to what it was before those horrible circumstances. I can't see there being a draw. I'm going to go with Blackpool 0, Northampton 2. Again, this is one of those games it's really, really difficult to see, isn't it? It really is, especially with these cup games. It's an absolute nightmare with the cup games, I tell you. If you're trying to go through how well they're playing, and all you can try and remember, like this one now, we're going to Bristol Rovers versus Crawley. And at Bristol Rovers, Weston-super-Mare win 3-1. They won 3-1 in the FA Cup. But actually, Weston-super-Mare played reasonably well against them, and did manage to get a goal, which I think Bristol Rovers would be probably a little bit dismayed at. And then you've got Crawley Town, who they won Maidenhead 2-1, and I think that one was a difficult one. I think did Maidenhead score first? I think I can't remember. But yeah, it was a tough game for them, that one. But they managed to get over the line, but only just. And you think, okay, we can sort of count those out, and we can count the Bristol Street Motors trophies out. What was the last game in League One then? The last game in League One for Crawley was a 2-2 draw against Huddersfield. Huddersfield not playing very well in that one, but Crawley absolutely. I keep saying this in the last couple of games. If they can get more shots on target, they could really start to pull out of and into that mid-table. Bristol Rovers just seem to be hit and miss at the minute. I mean, they drew against a really good Lincoln City side last time out, and I think one of these teams is going to win 2-1, and I think it's going to be 2-1 either way. It's a case of flip the coin. I'm going to go Bristol Rovers 1, Crawley Town 2, but really, it could be the other way around. Who knows? So we go to Cambridge versus Barnsley, and as much as I think that Cambridge are quite able to forget about that 6-1 defeat away to Peterborough, I think when you start talking about the likes of Barnsley, who at the minute are doing very well indeed, in fourth position, just 3 points behind Wrexham, you start to realise that gap, 22nd Cambridge, 10 points, is a little bit too big. Yes, I think Cambridge are doing better. Yes, I think they're playing really, really good football. I think there were times in that 6-1 defeat that I actually think they played really decent football, and Peterborough just happened to be a lot more clinical, and bang, they've got 6. However, I think that the Barnsley side at the minute is starting to get a little bit more consistency. People have been looking at them throughout the season so far, as short as it is, and saying they like the consistency. And I think they do like the consistency. They should have been 3-4-0 up against Rotherham United. Had they been had that consistency up front and that class up front that they have had in certain games but not in others, they could have wiped the floor with Rotherham and not just come away with a 2-0 win. So I'm going to go with Cambridge 1, Barnsley 3. I think that there's more consistency starting to come from that Barnsley side. I think that Cambridge will score. I think Cambridge are starting to play quite good football, but I'm just a little bit worried about the fact that they are so much better technically, Barnsley, than Cambridge. So now go to two teams that are have also been doing so well. One has slightly fallen off. We go Stockport County versus Wrexham, and Stockport County 5-0 win against Bolton. I mean, okay, it was at home, but that was a really decent score, and they played really well. I thought Bolton didn't play that badly either, but it was straight after a 5-0 defeat to Wycombe. And 5-0 defeat, 5-0 at home, 5-0 win at home. And my God, can we sort of settle down a bit? And that's my worry about Stockport. They just don't seem to have that ability to just consistently stay in there, and that was a collapse. Let's face it, the Wycombe one was a collapse. It shouldn't have collapsed like that. If we let 1 or 2 goals in, that's fine. Keep your head up. It's a bit like Oxford. Oxford don't let anything get them down. If they go behind 1-2-0, they fight for it and they get back on level terms, or try to. And the fans like it because they try and they don't let the heads down. And I just see this side just letting the head down a little bit too much. Can they come back? Well, the last league game was a 5-0 win at home to Bolton. But they played in the Mickey Mouse Trophy against Tranmere at home and lost 2-0. Okay, it won't have been with their first team players in the side. However, it's still a worry, because the game before those two was the Wycombe defeat 5-0, and a 2-1 win against Forest Green, and then a Reading 4-1 win at home. So they can score a hell of a lot of goals. And the thing about this is, my result could be one of 2 ways. It's either going to be that Stockport are going to win 4-1, or Wrexham are going to win 4-1. And I really do believe that one of these teams is going to win 4-1. And I am actually that close down the middle. And I've seen that teams can, they've worked out how to stop Wrexham, or at least stop them from being so blasé. Wrexham won against Mansfield, but only just. I mean, Mansfield did keep getting behind that solid back 5 that they have, and I think that Charlton got behind 2-2. Huddersfield stopped that the back 5. Well, the back 5 stopped then 0-0, wasn't it? But they managed to keep that back 5 busy so that the front guys didn't get past them. And seeing them at Rotherham, they won at Rotherham 1-0, but they played awful with Wrexham. So I'm just really, I don't know which way to go. I'm going to stay with the 4-1 idea, and I'm just going to play a bit of a joker here. I'm going to go for Stockport 4, Wrexham 1, and see how it goes, because I just think that sides are starting to see how to slip past this back 5 that Wrexham have got. And I think it's only time before sides look at the games that have gone so far and think, certain sides have managed to break that back 5. They always play it, and teams that play the same style and the same back 5, the same formation all the time, and the same players usually get found out, and they're usually the sides that have come up a division, and they think, well, it's worked in the last league, we'll carry on in this league. I think that's what's going to happen here, and it's going to be like Reading were in the Championship the other year. They went straight to, made a load of change, went straight to first place in the Championship, Christmas first in the Championship, and then they finished in the bottom 6. And you think, that's what I mean. You go in, you do really well in that first year, and then second year, you usually get found out, so you end up in the bottom half of the Championship, and that's what I can see happening here. It doesn't usually happen this early in the season, I must admit. So Wrexham fans, don't start being upset with me. It usually does happen. It's just that how much will it happen, and will it happen enough for you to be dropped out of the top 6? I don't think it'll happen enough for you to drop out of the top 6 when it happens. Doesn't usually happen this early, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it because I think Stockport have the scoring ability to be able to do it, and they have been scoring 4s and 5s. So I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to go for Stockport 4, Wrexham 1. Do like and subscribe. I will try and do a watch along tomorrow, and I hope that some people join in. Please do like, subscribe. Please do join in. I do need a few people to come and cheer me up a little bit on these, because the last 3 out of the last 4 I've had to cancel at half time because there's been nobody watching them. And I do like doing them. It'd be a real shame not to do them. So please do like and subscribe. Please do join me tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you very much. John S. Channel, Sports Channel, over and out.